I don't have really anything else to say, but I'm sorry, Mom. Hey guys, my name is Lilly, and today I'm here to tell you the story of the time I nearly got arrested twice. And just... ooh. I'm sorry, Mom. So, in the year of 2014, I lived in a townhouse complex where there were a bunch of townhouses around, and there was like a main center built. There was like a main storage, used to be like the old office building and a parking lot, and I'll insert like a picture or something so you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, so basically this old building, everybody was like, ooh, what's in it? Because like nobody would ever go in it, nobody knew what was in it, but you could always like see into the windows and it looked really sketchy, and there were rumors of like, ooh, like somebody's like living in there, or like, ooh, there's a really nice pool downstairs, or like there's like this or that inside, and everybody was like, ooh, what's in it? Like, we gotta know. And one day in the middle of the summer, us kids got curious. And by us kids, let me preface that in the year 2014, this complex and the one, like the neighboring, like tinier, like one, like 2-row, like not apartment, but like townhouse complex, like all these kids would get together. So there was probably like 8 or 9 of us in total, and it ranged from the ages of like 2nd grade to 8th grade. Like, that's how, like, I was an 8th grader, like, that's how big of a range, like, the entire thing was, because, like, we literally just, actually, no, I think it was in 7th grade? 8th grade? I don't know. I'll figure it out. But anyway, so, this one girl, we're gonna say her name is Emma. Her name is not actually Emma, but for the purposes of the story, I don't need her watching this and then coming back and being like, what the heck. So, Emma, being small, skinny, and tiny enough to fit through a window, i.e. my size, but I was too much of a chicken because I wasn't about to get caught for that, we all find this one side window on the side, like there was a tree bush thing, and then there was this window. Now the window's cracked, and like there was a physical crack in the glass, and the window was open. It wasn't locked from the inside. So when you push up against it, you know, like how you push up and then you can push up on a window. So like they pushed up on the window and they moved, like Emma moved this bookcase that was in front of the window out of the way, climbed through the window, and then walked to like the front door of this office looking thing, because it just had like a regular front. It literally just looked like a normal 2-bedroom house. So everybody was like, what's in it? Because like there was a garage and it had a front door and it used to have a mail slot. So I'm like, why does this, and there's like this little garden box in front of this window. So we're all like, okay, what's in here? So she comes through and literally like we all see her going through this window and we're like, did she do it? And all of a sudden we hear the front door open. So we're like, okay, like hell yeah, we get in. Everybody's just like chilling inside. I'm mostly staying outside because like we were basically like playing this game where like, I don't even remember the game, but like one person would like stay outside and then like they try to like see the person, like see the people inside through the windows, and if like you are caught they would knock on the window or something. It was some random stupid game that we'd made up like that. And this building, by the way, really it just had like a downstairs like living, like what would be like a living room and some stairs that went up. Now the upstairs was amazing. It had this really cool vaulted ceiling and a little bay window and this cute little thing, and there was like some bean bags and it was so cool, and if you would put up some like string lights and tapestry and like lit some candles, like it'd be like perfect Tumblr-esque. It was amazing, and it was just and funny thing, there was actually a bunch of the stuff that like the kids had left outside, whether it was like a ball or like, you know, a toy or something like that, like it made its way into the building, but it was always locked, so everybody's really confused because it looked like the door hadn't been opened in forever. So we don't know how that happened, but it did. And we were just chilling there, and then all of a sudden one of the kids' parents, they lived in one of the houses that was like, if this was the front door of this awkward building that we were all in, like the little mystery building, like there was this one kid who lived like right across the street, and their mom like is like looking out the window at all of us, and we didn't know this at the time. And so she hauls like at her kid through the window and is like, I swear if you go in that door one more time, like I'm gonna ground you forever or whatever. And she actually ended up like calling the cops because like we wouldn't leave. And in hindsight, yeah, there was justification behind like this. There was much justification. And so we couldn't really say anything. We all scattered at this point. Me and my sister ran back to our house and we literally were just like, oh, all of our friends had to go inside and my parents just believed it. And I was like, hi mom, sorry mom, I'm so deeply sorry that this is the first time you're hearing about this, if you ever watch this. And yeah, so all my other friends scattered. It turns out that a couple of them were hiding in like a back alley behind like some townhouses, and I was like, so the cops showed up, they rolled around, they didn't see anything, they talked to the people that like were managing, because the management, side note, the management lady, that, not the one that was there when me and my like parents moved in and everything, but like the lady that was there that like moved us in, like left or something, so it was a different lady for most of the time that we were there. And I wish I could say her name because literally like, we're gonna call the new management lady, who is a bitch, we're gonna say her name was Stephanie. Now Stephanie hated my family, but that's a whole other video. So Stephanie comes down, she takes her little key, she locks up the front door, the cops lock the window, they completely lock everything, they take all the stuff that was inside and keep it in there. Like they literally keep it so we can see it through the window, but we can't like actually see it. And we had seen the upstairs before because there was this one tree that you could like climb, and literally like it was the coolest tree ever until I freaking cut the tree so we couldn't climb it unless you were me and I was tall enough to like swing my leg up. But side story, yeah, that tree was like, it was literally like, we practically built a home out of that tree, like, ugh. So we'd like climb up the tree and we could see in the window. And it was great. And it was obvious that people were in there because we started throwing peanuts out of the second story window. And like, it was like, we'd be like, oh my god, it's snowing! And we were so stupid, honestly. And yeah, so that happened. Nobody ever officially got caught for it. I think the only person that actually ended up getting caught was Emma, because she was the one that opened the window and her parents found out. And then she actually, like, I don't think she was quite old enough to get like get it put on her record in the United States. So like, yeah, so that was convenient for everybody. But yeah, no, so we carry on with life. About a year and a half passes and nobody's gone inside of this building. The buildings was taken over, the maintenance people have started using it as like their storage thing, you know. A year and a half passes, me and my family had moved out at this point. Like, we were living in the house that I'm living in right now, the one that I'm filming in, and I still had friends. Like, my friends still lived down there, so like we would go and visit, we'd hang out with them, we'd hang out like inside, and then like we'd go outside because like that was like our thing, you know, that was our tradition. And then so one day I was hanging out with my friend. It was me, my younger sister, and this girl. We're gonna say her name was April, because I actually don't know if I'm allowed to like say her name without like something bad happening. I mean, I guess I could because nothing illegal was happening. Like, shout out if you're watching this and you know who you are, and sorry, but like, anyway. So basically it's a year and a half later, we're chilling outside. It's like 7:38 at night, and it's pretty dark the time of year because it was during the school year. I think it was, I want to say it was in between like September and November or something like that. Like, it was sometime in that time frame in which we were there, and we were just chilling outside. It was dark outside, and it was kind of, it was like misting, sprinkling, I guess you want to call it. It wasn't like raining hard enough to warrant us going inside, but it was like just enough for us to want to get out of the rain. So the only place that we could really go that was like close to my friend's house was like this building, because there was a little ledge, you know, like here's the wall and then here's a little like ledge where the rain would like fall down, and we could like stand right there and we could still talk or whatever. And we were standing there for about 20 minutes or so, and it was like, it was chill. We were just talking, we were having a normal conversation, we weren't really doing anything. We were just sitting on the little planter box that was there, and some of us were like I was standing and they were sitting on the planter box, and like nothing bad was happening. Like, we weren't trespassing, we weren't doing anything illegal, we weren't saying any bad things about like anybody. We were just having a normal conversation, like normal human beings. And all of a sudden, like 20 minutes later, this cop car like comes around the corner. And for this neighborhood, it's pretty typical for it sounds so bad to say with all the kids that live there, but seeing cop cars and seeing like fire trucks and ambulances wasn't a new thing. Like every time we'd see one, we'd be like, ooh, like whose house is it now? But like they weren't going to a house. So we were like, okay. So they pull up like 20 feet. Like we're standing here, like if my camera is the street, like I'm facing out this way, the cop car, like we're facing out this way, the cop car drives like this way and then stops like right here, and like it's normal, and then they get out of the car, they start shining a flashlight over by one of these like houses or whatever, so we're like, okay, whatever, they must just be looking for somebody, and they were talking to someone over there, we're like, okay, and then they turned, the cops pointed the flashlight at us, and we're like, them, question mark, pointing and saying that really loud. And I was like, oh crap, like what's about to happen? So the cops walk over to us and are like, hey, like, what are you guys doing? Like, what's up? And I'm just like, we're just chilling here because it's kind of raining, but like we want to be outside, so we're just sitting by this thing. And they're like, oh, like how old are you guys? And this was after, okay, it had to have been in October or November because I was 14 at the time. And because I was 14 at the time. And I was like, I'm 14. My friend said she was 13, I think. And then my sister was 12 at the time. And we were all just there. And then they look at me specifically and are like, you know, if you're lying to us about anything, you are old enough to get a criminal record. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I'm not. So we're just gonna act like my camera didn't just die, and we're just gonna pick up from the story right here. So the cops were asking me some questions, being like, hey, like, what are you guys doing? Like, what's going on? Like, there's been a complaint of, and I'm like, we're just sitting here, we're just listening to music. Like, my friend had her phone out and she was just playing music. Like, she didn't have a Bluetooth speaker or anything, it was just from her phone, and it was loud enough so that we could still talk, like, we could still have a conversation, you know, and hear each other and the music. So it's not like the music was loud enough to get a complaint or anything, and it's not like us talking was really loud or anything, because we were talking at like a pretty low, normal speaking, like we were just sitting here having a conversation, there wasn't really anything going on. And the cops are like, were you guys trying to do anything to get into this building? I know it's kind of rainy and I know it's kind of seems like a good idea to get out of the cold. And we were like, no, we would never do that, like there's no reason to. And they're like, well, there's been some history of some break-ins at this with, you know, juveniles. And I'm like, I heard about that, but I would not, we're not breaking in, we're not doing anything to warrant getting in, you know. And they were like, well, how old are you guys? And when I told them, they were like, so you're 14? And I said, yes. And they were like, you do know that means you're old enough to get a juvenile record, right? Like if you're doing something, you can get like you can get a record, and that could go on and make life very difficult for someone. And I'm like, yes, I understand that, but I'm not doing anything. Like, we're just sitting here having a conversation, talking, listening to music. We're not doing anything. We're just standing here to get out of the rain. Like, me and my sister don't live here anymore like we used to. She does. She's my friend. She lives right down there. Like, and I'm pointed towards her house. And he was like, and the officer, it was this guy and this girl, and the officer, like, the female was like, yo, hey, like, what's up? You know, like, how's this? Like, trying to be like, girl on girl, whatever. And she was like, well, how about this? Because your friend, as you're saying, lives right over there, why don't we take a walk over there? And I was like, okay, like, so we grabbed our stuff, as in our phones and our jackets. So, like, we grab our stuff and we walk over back to, like, my friend's house. And, like, she walks in, and, like, me and my sister walk in with her, and the cops are still standing there. And, like, my friend explains all of this to her dad, and her dad is, like, her dad, by the way, is, like, 5'11". He's, like, pretty big, has, like, beard, tattoos, like, he looks like a really mean guy. Like, if you got on his wrong side, he seems like he looks like a really tough guy. So, like, he walks up and walks over, And he's like, well, I know these girls, I know they wouldn't do anything like that, like, I know they're not gonna say or do anything like that. And the cops are like, okay, I know, but there was a complaint, and, you know, we just want to make sure that they weren't doing anything, and we figured since it was late and it was cold, they should probably, you know, get home. And my friend's dad is like, okay, like, we're gonna call him Bob. Like, Bob was like, okay, like, that's chill. And the police were like, have a nice night. Like, so, yeah, no, they literally were nearly about to, like, write me up and, like, possibly arrest us and possibly, like, take me and my sister home, like, send my friend home. And they were like, the police even asked, they're like, do you have, like, rides home or anything? And I was like, yeah, my dad's gonna be here soon, like, my parents are gonna come pick me up, like, yeah. And they're like, oh, okay, do you know how long they're gonna be? And I'm like, no, I don't know, sorry. And they're like, oh, okay, well, if they were gonna be here soon, I would have stuck it around, you know, see if they were gonna, so we could talk to them. And I was like, I don't know when they're gonna be here, sorry. And they're like, okay, but you should probably stay away from there because we don't want you to get caught trespassing. And I'm like, I understand. Have a nice night. Keep in mind, I was completely respectful to them. I was completely answering all of their questions. I was referring to them as sir, ma'am, and officer. I was not saying anything out of line. I was stating the truth. But they apparently didn't believe that because some stuck-up lady in her house, who, by the way, never liked me and my friend and my sister and, like, all of my friends that lived there, because she just hated kids, which is weird because she had a kid of her own, and it was insane. And, like, it was a mess. So, yeah, no, I was like, wow, you're gonna believe some stuck-up lady with her dog rather than, like, 3 people. Like, 3 against 1, but because we're teenagers, like, thanks, like, thank you. And obviously, like, I looked so very threatening in my salmon pink rain jacket and, like, super girly looking shirt and some leggings. Like, yes, me and my Converse and my leggings and my, like, super girly looking not the sweater, but, like, my super girly looking sweater and my, like, salmon rain jacket, yes, and my, like, my very threatening nerd glasses, like, yes. It baffles me that, like, they didn't believe me. It only irritates me a lot. But, you know, both these stories are true, by the way. They just happen to relate to each other because it's, like, the same place in which... So the first time we nearly got arrested for actually doing something illegal, and the second time I nearly got arrested for telling the truth, and I was really confused because they thought I was lying. And I was like, okay, man, like, what am I gonna do about that? So yeah, that's basically it. Mom, I'm sorry. I am so deeply sorry for this. Like, I feel like I should just title this Apology to My Mom. But yeah, no, seriously, that's it. I don't know. I hope that was an interesting story. I hope you guys enjoy these videos because I enjoy making them. And yeah, give this a thumbs up if you want to hear more story times, and if you don't, then leave some comments below, like, what types of stuff you want me to do. And also leave a comment if you've had any experiences like this where either the police haven't believed you for a story, or you've nearly been arrested for something, or, you know, something minor or stupid. I mean, nothing huge and crazy that would warrant, like, extensive jail time, but, you know, like, petty misdemeanors and stuff. Like, those are always fun to hear. Also, if you read any of the comments, don't go taking ideas. Don't go taking my ideas, please. Like, oh, no. Like, gosh, no. But yeah, no, so that's the story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Blood still stains when the sheets are washed. Sex don't sleep when the lights are off. Kids are still depressed.